All right, we are live with Amber Mitchell today. We're super excited, Amber, to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Super excited. She's going to be sharing her story about how she has lost like 62 pounds basically in the last 10 weeks, like 81 days or something, right? So super exciting. So Amber, go ahead. Let's just start off and give us a quick intro, just who you are, whatever you want to tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Amber. I'm a mom of 3 girls, and kind of what led me up to this is just after each kid, you can lose a bunch of the weight, and then I would slowly gain a little bit because of work and life. And then after my third, I just couldn't lose the weight. Like I was walking constantly. I was trying to watch things I was eating, and I'd lose like 15, 20 pounds. And then life happens and like I'd gain it back. And it just got so frustrating. And then we moved and I started working full time again and just trying to prioritize and thinking like I have to work out and I shouldn't be eating this and just stressing yourself out with that. And then COVID hit and everything went out the door with COVID for everybody. I hope it did for us. So really going through that, and then I lost my job and just balancing everything. And I know you, and so we knew each other years ago. We used to work together, and we met like when you started your food journey. So I remember having a conversation with you about like how you viewed food in general. So seeing you evolve and like doing this, I always just knew, like I'd watched you on Facebook and I just knew like Jared has something, like there's something about the way he just views food in life that I always agreed to. So it was a little bit easy to like come to you when I finally realized one day I was like, I had gotten a cold and my asthma kicked in and I couldn't even like walk down the street without losing my breath. Like it was so scary. Like I've been playing on this line of like, some point they're going to say I have diabetes, or at some point, like I'm going to, if I got COVID, heaven forbid, I would have been on a ventilator. It was so bad. So I reached out to you and I was like, I'm done. Like, this is my birthday present to myself. And so that's kind of how I trusted you, because I just knew you personally and like how you viewed those things. So I just realized I was like, I want my health back. Like my kids need to see me like playing with them and not being like always like on the bench, like go help your sister push her on the swing because I don't want to stand up. Like that's pathetic. Like I did not want to do that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So tell it, like over the years, you said, with kids, you can kind of gain weight, lose weight, whatever. What other things had you tried before kind of jumping in with us?
I done like low carb. So not quite keto, but I did low carb and I was pretty successful with it. But the problem was like there was no transition. Like you're never not going to eat a roll for the rest of your life, and I'm never going to not have, sorry, the phone ringing now.
Okay.
But I'm never not gonna, have pasta or eat, like that's just not realistic. And I didn't have that transition. So as successful as that was, I got tired of it after a while. And so I went for it, and you forget other things. I did a couple of like the weight loss pills, like with a doctor. And that like got me crazy. Like I literally was like, I'm so short with my kids. And I thought it was only me. And a nurse told me, she said, yeah, I had that same effect. So I didn't like how I was mentally. And then always just like, if I eat this, I have to exercise this much. And I'm learning through this whole process. Like I barely exercise. Like I literally had a cousin reach out to me. He's like, oh, are you exercising more? And I was like, I walk like 3 times a week. Like I exercise now for like, cause I enjoy it and I want to do it. And like the other health benefits of like flexibility and endurance, those things, but I'm not trying to exercise to counter my calorie intake. Like that's not something that you want to have to live with the rest of your life either.
No. So it's such an unhealthy mindset because it starts to skew how we look at food in our life of like, well, I'll just, like eat ice cream and skip dinner, or I'll, eat all the, and it's not how the body works. It's not how food works. So it starts to create an unhealthy relationship. And then we start to feel like that like exercise guilt where you're like, oh, I gotta go. And I didn't hit the gym. I didn't go long enough. I only had 20 minutes today versus like 40. Like all those things that we go through. So it sounds like, so you've tried lots of things throughout the years. You were able to lose some weight, but nothing that was like sustainable, right? Never
Right.
found something that was like that's long-term.
Yeah. And it was just overbearing. Like my whole mindset was, for years, anytime I set a goal, it's always this health goal. I'm not going to eat after 8 o'clock. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to exercise 3 times a week. Now I'm going to do it 5 times a week. And it was just, I just was not, it was not happening. Like I was not in the mind place to do it. Like maybe 10 years, like, I don't know. It just didn't happen. And with this, like, I'm slowly seeing the process of being like, I enjoy walking again. And to eat food is not like, I don't feel guilty for what I'm eating. And it is not like this huge overbearing process of like, let me count this. And does this work within my plan? Like I kind of just, I get what I can eat. And so I can figure it out really quickly and I can adapt to it. So it's not the other stuff. It's like, that's too much work and you're not going to do that the rest of your life. So why do it temporarily?
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing is, like, I think we all kind of want to do it in hopes that we'll lose weight and it'll like stick. We're like, okay, this is going to be the time. So we try these like weird shake things and these pills and these exercises, and we're like hoping, but in the back of the mind, we're like, this isn't going to work forever. Like, I can't live like this. And whatever you do to lose the weight, you've got to keep doing it. Otherwise, you're not going to keep it up. So if you can't do it forever, you might as well not do it. Now, we have kind of a process, obviously, that for those watching, that we have different phases that we go through. So we're not always, in the beginning, we're maybe a little bit more specific, but that's even pretty easy. You're just like, oh, I could do this while I'm traveling or camping or whatever. And then we open it up even more and more to where we're having desserts and treats, and you can do those things often. So awesome. Well, so run us through. You've lost 62 pounds in 10 weeks. People first think that's like insane. People hear that and they're going to be like, you're lying, Amber. You were starving. You were like killing yourselves in the gym. Like, tell us what the 10 weeks has been like, as far as like, you've seen 62 pounds of fat loss. Like, what else, what have you experienced? What has it been like for you over the last 10 weeks?
Well, I'm not hungry. Definitely. I'm not bored of the food. I mean, I think one thing we get tricked into thinking like you only can eat chicken and fish. But one thing I've realized is I have a variety of meats that I'm eating again, and just being able to eat fresh, real food. I mean, I just go to the grocery store. I'm not going anywhere special and doing those things, but just the benefits. Like each week, I just kind of think about like what I have felt. And I mean, I measure myself every week. I weigh myself every week. I've taken pictures almost every single week. So like, in my mind, I'm much smaller than I really am. So when I see that first picture, I'm like, wow, my face is so shiny and greasy from that was not healthy and like where I am now. But like certain things, I have a little bit of eczema on my skin and I don't have it now. And it's been like this probably for about 2 months. And that's something that, I mean, and I've got my ointments and like the lotion. I mean, I've had like the soaps you use, and it's because I hydrate and I'm eating better. And like, I'd even get a little bit of dandruff on top of my head. I do not deal with that anymore. My skin feels so smooth. Like I don't have to put on lotion every single day, because if I don't, like I'm like scratching at night. I don't do that anymore. Like if I don't put on lotion for a few days, like I'm totally fine. I don't have like the back pain in the morning like I used to. I mean, I went hiking last week and was a little sore, but like I just stretched my back out and then I was fine the next day. That would have not have happened, and I'm not using my inhaler, which like that was something that was gonna, that was starting to come into my life, which had never been in that kind of way. I just feel so good. And to say like you're confident is such an understatement, because it just encompasses so much. But being able to like put on clothes that fit me 2 years ago. I went on a river rafting trip, which I used to do when I was younger, and feeling like I was like the 25-year-olds and the 18-year-olds. They're on this trip and like doing backflips with them, because I knew I was like, my body's healthy. Like I might not have, I mean, I'm still, over 50% till my goal weight, but I feel so good that I'm like, I'm going to go do that hike and I'm going to wear what I'm going to wear and I'm going to go travel. And I don't worry about if the seatbelt's going to fit me on the airplane anymore. Like those things are like little stressors that we forget that just can become overwhelming to us. And so I just realized like, regardless of like what my size is, like I know I'm healthy. So I know I'm capable of doing stuff just like the person who weighs, 50 pounds less than I do, or even 100 pounds less than I do, because I'm healthy. And that's the part of it that like, it's that shifting that I've had to learn, is realizing like, I'm just as healthy and I probably feel healthier than I did at this weight 2 years ago. I wasn't even at this weight 2 years ago. I was just above it, right? So I'm like, I'm going down, pre, we're going to get down to like who I was 3 babies ago. So it's just, it feels so good. And like for people, and some people notice that, I mean, it was COVID, right? So we're all wearing masks and we're all wearing our hoodies still and stuff like that. But just to feel like I can go into a room and I'm not self-conscious about what I'm wearing, or if people are seeing me, or if I'm still plus size and quite big, but I just know I can go on the hike and be just fine. And I can go to so it's not stopping me. So that's the biggest thing that I've loved. And I feel good, and I'm not encompassed about the food, and I'm not embarrassed if I go out to lunch with friends. Like, I've brought my food. Like, I'll just cook my food and I'll bring it, or, and I'll be in control of saying I can eat here because I know there's something I can eat, right? Like, I'm not trying to eat junk and feel crummy. Like, if I want to keep feeling good, I got to keep, stay on this road to health, and like the weight is going to just keep coming off. And it feels so good. Like, I don't know how else to like describe that, but just to be able to live without like the restrictions of what my body is on the outside, like it's not a setback anymore.
Yeah, that's awesome, Amber. So exciting. Well, we were talking just before, it's freedom. You have freedom to not stress about, like you said, you're not burdened, you're not obsessed about your food and your weight and what you're going to wear and all that stuff anymore. So you have freedom over that, but you have freedom to like, I know you've been traveling a lot the last few weeks, which is awesome. You've still maintained and been losing a bit, which is great. So you have freedom to do that. You can go river rafting, you can go on a hike, you can do those things with freedom and not stress about the inhaler. And that's freedom. And of course, like, it's not that you're out eating, some people think freedom is like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. That's not freedom, because then what that ends up doing is that ends up like binding you and restricting you because of your health later, right? And so you follow some rules and you go, I can eat out, I can bring my own food, I can do whatever, but I have the freedom to not stress. So that is so awesome. And of course, all the cool physical and emotional benefits. Like, in what I hear you saying is that you feel that you're empowered to just do whatever you want with your life. Like, you're able to do that. Like, you know that you can keep losing the weight. You mentioned that, like, I'm on my way, I'm going to get back to 3 babies ago. I mean, that's a powerful belief to go, I can do this. And then of course, to be able to go out and do whatever you want to do with your life, be active. I know, and you've been busy too. Like, you're a mom, you got lots going on with your life, and still been able to do it. So that's huge. So congrats.
Well,
Congrats
thank
to
you. Thank you. I'm glad we were friends on Facebook.
Yeah. So tell us, like, some of the things now, because some people are gonna be like, well, okay, crash course diet, which it's not. I mean, this is a way of life. Like, it's very easy to do. But 60 pounds in 10 weeks is like awesome and super, super cool. And people are like, well, how are you going to keep that off then the rest of your life? So what have you learned? What shifts have you made? I know that, we talked about these shifts and the mindset stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you've learned or what's been different for you this time that will help propel you forward in the future.
One thing I've done programs in the past, and I know what works for me. And one thing about this program, and I'm not there yet because I'll go back into like another cycle so I can keep losing, but the transition, if you don't have a transition plan, you're not going to be successful. And so I've heard tidbits of, as you talk and as you post in the Facebook pages about those transitions. So it's getting me to already think about, like, what is this going to look like in the long run? And what am I going to be able to do to like help feed my kids? Like, this is something that I want my kids to incorporate so that they're healthy and that they're strong and they're viewing food as a fuel source and not just to binge because you can have it. I can't remember the parts of your question.
Things have you learned? Yeah.
Oh, so other things, like fruits and vegetables. Like, those are not just like, I just bought some strawberries. Like, I always make sure I have plenty of fresh food. And it's not just a snack. Like, this is just what we have at every single meal now. And so to me, that's just healthier anyways, because it's natural. It's coming from the ground. There's a variety of things that I'm always eating. So I don't feel like I'm just stuck like, what else do you make with chicken now? Like that.
Right.
I mean, talk to any person who cooks. Like, I just talked to people last week. They're like, oh, we always do chicken and we get lost. And I'm like, I don't do that anymore. That's just part of my meals. Like, I have the fish and the pork and the beef and, all kinds of stuff. So it's easy to do. I mean, there's a lot of prep that I can do. I mean, there's ways that I've figured out. For the most part, I do it for myself. And that was one thing, one of those mind shifts that I realized, like I used to go like at night, I'd go get like my soda, and then I would go like to fast food places and get food. Like true story. I'd be like, I'm going to get French fries here and I'm going to go get my burrito from here. Like so sad, but nobody saw it. And then I realized one night coming back from the grocery store, I was like, I did it for me. And as moms, like everything goes to our children, or we are constantly sharing, or you've got it. It's just overwhelming. And I realized I was like, this is for me. And so when I cook, I'm doing the food for me, like if it's vegetables or whatever. And I found new ways to do it, and it's good. And I'm not a huge one that likes to cook, but I like the way that I make my vegetables. I like the way, you know, I just like eating fresh fruit and being able to like be like, hey, it's in season. I'm just gonna, you know, load up on the watermelon and nectarines and oranges and apples and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So this is something that you can always do. I mean, you go to the grocery store is where you're buying your food. It's nothing overwhelming. There's not the counting and the, I mean, this is when I make meals, I mean, I do them for my kids too. So if we're making burgers, right? Or if I'm marinating chicken and putting it on the grill, like this is something that it's so basic, and you don't have to overthink it. It's just like, what other seasonings can I do? And I season up my food. I'm not a bland, like put a little bit of pepper and chicken and, you know,
Right.
it. Like, no, like I'm really going to have seasoning on my food. Like if it can be spicy, if I can, you know, get the onions and the garlic powder in there. Like, I mean, I really, you know, the food is not going to be boring if you're not a boring person. And you can
Yeah.
do it. And that's what the transition, and that's why I look forward to in the future is like, how am I going to make sure the ingredients are good for my body so I can continue this? And that's something that, you know, I like to listen to you when you know, you post. I mean, you're eating ice cream and you had donuts a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm waiting for that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for those recipes, because I mean, that's the stuff that, I mean, I'm human. I love sweets, and my kids love to have those treats too. And so this is not, it's so basic, and it's something that's really easy to do. And but you have to commit to it. You know, you have to commit, and you have to realize, like 2 months ago, I was telling you, I couldn't wait till I was eating certain foods, you know, and I was like, I'm
Right.
just waiting to have this, or I'm waiting to have that. And now I'm like, I don't miss it. Like
Yeah.
my life and my social life, especially like when I get together with people, it's not around like food. It's around like the people and the experiences that we're doing. And I think that's a mind shifting. And that's what it comes down to, is like, what are you centering your energy and your thoughts on? And if it's around food, then it's going to be really hard to be successful. If it's around everything else, then the food just falls into place.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge. I mean, so many amazing lessons and things, takeaways. But I think really it comes down to that mindset shift. I know, you know, as we've gone through the last 10 weeks together, and you and Kenna and I, you know, it's a lot of mindset shifts, a lot of looking into like our belief systems, our behaviors, like why do we do certain things, right? We're always like, all right, Amber, let's journal, let's dig into that. Like, let's figure out why do we do these things? And now it's like, well, I don't even want those things anymore. Like it's not part of my life, because you're freeing yourself, which is huge. I think that's a huge, and then of course, you know, making it simple and sustainable that you can do regardless of circumstance. That's huge. So awesome, Amber. I'm super excited. And again, you're absolutely right. Like I look at my life 9 years ago when I lost the weight, like I just been doing the same stuff. Like it's simple. My life doesn't revolve around food, and you know, it's easy. Like it's very, very easy to do for the rest of your life to just eat real food, right? And make it fun and exciting. As time goes on, it gets easier, which is the cool part. So so awesome. So if somebody were kind of jumping in, just starting the program or thinking about it, what's your advice to them? What's your thoughts to them? Maybe if they're like, well, is it going to work for me? Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Or what would you say to them?
The first thing you always tell everybody at the beginning is trust the process. And it's so true. And I mean, some mornings I would say that, like if I didn't lose, I'd be like, Jared says trust the process. So I'm going to trust the process. And it always works itself out. I'm like looking at that bigger picture. And even now, like the phase I'm in, I guess, like I'm telling myself now, I'm like, trust the process, and it's working itself. Like I don't have to sit here and think about it. Like my body's doing what it's supposed to do. I think if you're thinking about doing it, it's gonna work. Like I was over 300 pounds, right? So this is not like a person who just needs to lose 20. It has worked, and I'm not starving. I do not crave the food. I literally go to the grocery store and get my stuff. Like I'm not one of those. I mean, I'm pretty simple. Like this can work for me. And I've done this whole diet stuff so many times. And I've done things that have worked, but then like you lose that. And the one thing I love this is like you're really training your mind and like the way that you're going to view food and stuff like that. And that's huge because if your mind is in the right spot, and that's for anything, right? Like you can finish your education if it's in the right spot. You can achieve the goal if you want. So if the principles you teach aren't even just about food, like how else can I like apply this to the rest of my life? And so it's nothing scary. I mean, find a support system, and there is support here too, which I love. Like, I mean, I get on messages with you guys or when I'm meeting with you guys week to week and stuff like that. And so, either invest in it now or you're going to invest in it like in your prescriptions later on, or you're going to sit there and say like, I'm 36 and I had a friend sit there and say the other day, she's like, oh, Amber, like our bodies are not the same. And I've realized I'm like, no, mine's not the same. It's so much healthier. I have no shame in saying I'm 36, where some people in their 30s like, don't say that. And I'm like, no, because my body's not going to be 36. When I turn 40, like I'm going to be doing cartwheels with my kids, and like, that's what I'm looking forward to, is to being that mom. And so my age is just going to be that number literally, because my body's going to be so much healthier. So it's so worth it. I do not want to be on prescriptions. Like I see what people like, the prescriptions people have to buy and like get, like that's just, and just to think, I mean, with COVID, just to think like if I had gotten it, that would have been so scary. That would have been so scary because I was not in a place to, I would have been on that ventilator that we needed. So it's worth it. And I would more than talk to anybody about it because I feel just amazing. I feel so amazing. And I think people see it. And I'm definitely doing more than I was a year ago. Like I'm in such a better headspace, physically, spiritually, mentally, like everything. We're on the right track. And if you can't figure that out, like, talk to me. I'll meet up with you for some water.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it is. And we always talk about how, 90% of permanent weight loss is how we think. It's our mindset. And it's bigger than that. It's really about becoming the best version of ourselves. Like when you can get in control of your food, everything else gets better. But it's not true the other way, right? Like if you get in control of your family, your business, your whatever, like it doesn't make you healthier. When you get healthier, everything else improves and you see it, which is awesome. So
it's been so true. It's been so true with my situation, like with my life. So true. Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Amber, thank you. I mean, we're so excited for you. Congrats to you for doing all the work. I mean, we're just glad that we get to be part of it with you and on this journey with you. So thank you for letting us, but again, just want to congratulate you. And again, say thank you for being willing to share your story, and share everybody who's watching this. So if you are watching this, give Amber some love, give likes, posts, whatever. But thank you, Amber, for sharing. And we're excited for you as far as your continued progress on your health journey.
Yay. Well, thank you, Jared. Like I said, I'm glad it just tipped over one day and I said, I just got to reach out to Jared. We're going to do this now. So
Awesome.
I'm forever thankful.
Good. Well, I'm grateful as well. So again, thank you for being here, Amber, and we'll end this. We can get you back to your day, but thanks again for being here.
All right. Thanks.
See ya.